Welcome to the Good Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast, where we talk about all things Masonry while drinking an Old Fashioned. I'm Brian.
And I'm Russ.
So today we're going to talk with one of the members of Albert Pike Lodge. We're not going to share too many things about that, but we're pretty excited about some things we have going on here. So we talked about Thanksgiving. You've got the next big holiday for us is Christmas. Are you going somewhere? Are you doing something special? Do you have how do you do your gifts? Do you send them out on Amazon? How do you handle all that, Russ?
So Christmas for me just is I'm in Wichita, and I'm going to just celebrate Christmas in Wichita. And so if anybody wants to celebrate with me, they get to come to Wichita. And
so where are the kids at?
They are in Orlando, Florida, and Kansas City, Missouri. And it's my understanding that they will be here.
Oh, they're coming?
They are coming.
Nice. So how do you, so with adult children, it's a little bit different. How do you do Christmas? Do they say, Dad, this is what I want? Do you get them how does all that work? Everyone does it differently.
Yeah, so I ask them sort of, hey, give me an idea for a gift that you might enjoy. And then I have some ideas, and whether they like them or not, I give them to them.
So ours is different.
Yeah.
For a long time, our daughters, before Amazon wish lists and all of that came out, they would print screen stuff that they liked, put it on a Word document, put their size and different things like that. Yeah. So it was way easier. A lot of people think it's a little crazy. I like to.
So there is a family Word doc. Are you telling me that you are very structured and organized, and there's a Word doc or Google Doc or something that you actually have as a family?
At one time there was. I know what you're trying to do. I know the direction you're trying to take me. I'm not going to buy it. Now we use an Amazon list.
Oh, fantastic.
So, and here's the thing.
Yeah.
You and I our kids would probably say we're hard to buy for.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want something, we'll get it.
Yeah.
We don't ask for a lot.
And they can buy their own stuff.
Fair. But I'm going to ask, we might be tough to buy for.
That's fair.
We can get what we want. So it's, I think the way that Christmas, and we draw names in our family. So we don't, used to be everyone got something, which was fun for me. But it's way easier as you get adult children. You draw a name and you say, "Oh my gosh, I've got X and this," and then that's your thing. So everyone's. Do you still do Christmas stockings?
No.
So it's fascinating. So this is going to be an interesting debate here. We still do Christmas stockings, and our kids might say, "I would take everything in a stocking more than a gift."
I think that's fair.
So stockings are the things.
It's sort of fun.
It is, and stockings are the things you don't want to buy.
Yeah, it's
your socks, your underwear. It's the stuff that you don't want to buy, but it's like, oh my gosh, this is great. So, but we still do stockings. It's fascinating. If you do stockings, let us know what's kind of your standard stocking thing. So
I love the fact that every time I get on here with you, I have no idea what direction we're going, and now we're talking about stuffing stockings.
Yes. So this is the great thing. So Russ, as we dragged him into this, this was the gist of it. Hey, we're going to do a Masonic podcast. He got that information over social media, and then I said, "Hey, can I come to your house a little early to set up?" Sure, come over. And we opened the back of my vehicle, and there was a full-on studio worth of stuff. And he's like,
"Oh dear God!
Oh dear God! What did you get me into?" But now we're here. So with all of that said, let's go grab a cocktail and let's bring in Dave Thomas.
Fantastic.
So he's showing the cocktail that we're supposed to bring in. Okay, welcome back. We have got Dave Thomas here. Dave, so
of Wendy's.
So here's the interesting thing. Can I go back to 2015? So when Dave became a Master Mason in 2015, there were two Dave Thomases that we guys raised the same day.
Oh yeah.
You were raised the same. I think it was a Saturday, and just a whole nother discussion. Russ didn't like that I did degree work on Saturdays, but that's a whole nother thing. So it's a true story we'll talk about later. So tell us who Dave Thomas the man is, not the Mason. We'll get into the Mason part later.
Okay, yeah, and I do want to get into the other Dave Thomas as well.
Nice.
That's a fun story.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so I am a senior fraud analyst for a major bank. My passion had been in politics for many years. I ran a statewide political action committee, worked on several campaigns, and I still do some consulting here and there, but I'm not near as involved as I used to be. I've got a beautiful wife and 2 wonderful kids, 8-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. We decided to have 1 boy and 1 girl so that I wouldn't have to remember names. I just said, hey boy, hey girl. And then we stopped there.
That's great. So let's talk about politics a little bit. So Albert Pike Lodge, we've got a couple of players in Kansas politics right now.
Very much so.
We have Representative Dan Hawkins. He was a past master of Albert Pike. He'll be much more vocal next year.
I think so.
We also have Leo Delperdang.
Yep.
I think is he in the area of town that we live?
He's on the west side of Wichita.
Yeah. So politics and Masonry, although that's not ever the goal, we try to separate the thing. It just seems to be intertwined. So we've got as far as in Kansas Masonry and Kansas politics, we have a couple of players in the mix. And did you ever have a chance to cross paths with either one of those individuals in your work?
Yes. Dan Hawkins, I've had many conversations with, a couple of dinners with. Leo, he has been to a couple of meetings that I was also attending, but no real personal interaction.
But what I think is interesting is as we discuss politics, we don't really discuss parties or what side we're on or what, because as brothers, we can always discuss politics, but in Lodge, that's not really what we want to discuss.
Well, absolutely. It's important to understand where the borders are, where your border lines are drawn. And it's very much like Thanksgiving dinner, where, you can discuss all kinds of things, but when it gets into your side of politics and religion, those subjects should be broached carefully, and in most cases, just not at all, especially in the Lodge.
Right. Well, politics and religion, that's where wars start, and that's one of the things that we really avoid in Masonry.
Mm-hmm.
You can figure it out, just like in real life, which way people go. But the cool thing about Masonry is we'll actually give somebody an audience, maybe if they've got a different opinion, and it's kind of a cool thing because there's a lot of political opinions in Masonry, and when you cross paths outside of Lodge, it's an interesting conversation that we may have with that. So walk us through your Masonic journey from start to finish.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And I do want to go back to the politics and Lodge when we get a chance later.
Well, apparently this is Dave's show.
All right. Years and years ago, I think I was in my early 20s. I was working at a job running a jewelry store, and I had a customer come in that had a Masonic ring, and I'd never seen one before, and asked him what it was, and he told me a little bit about the fraternity, and I was really intrigued, and I looked into it later, and it occurred to me after I became a Mason that if I had asked him if I could join, or if I could asked him more about it, then maybe I could have started my journey a lot earlier, and I regret not doing that now, but I didn't know. So I was at a political function having dinner, and one of the guys that I was having dinner with had a Masonic ring. And
who was that person?
That was Jim Price.
Okay.
And I spotted the ring, and he saw me look at it, and then he invited me. He said,
"Okay, fair.
Would you like to come out to dinner?" And I did, and it was one of the best decisions I've made. Now, funny story with the other Dave Thomas. So when we go to dinner, they were expecting me, but some of the other guys were expecting the other Dave Thomas.
Right.
All of them thought it was the same person. And once I had entered, another guy came running up to the door, which at that point had been locked, and saying, "Hey, I'm Dave Thomas. I'm here to have dinner with you." And there was quite a bit of confusion from there, but really good guy. We tried to determine, what would differentiate us, since we both had the same name, and
Totally different careers, by the way.
very different careers.
Very different
He's in
careers.
security, and
Yes.
I'm not. We are 1 week apart, so I thought maybe we'll have the Dave Thomas Senior and Dave Thomas Junior.
Were you before him or after him?
I believe I'm a week older.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, it was so close, I don't remember who was older.
Nice.
Okay.
But yeah, so that didn't work. And but anyway, really good guy, and we went through the whole thing together, raised together, same night, and that it's just a good memory.
Yeah.
But so that's when I came in. That was about 7 years ago, and you were master at the time.
How was that?
Yeah.
Just a stellar class.
So
stellar
I just
class.
sort of threw out a joke of Wendy's. So where does that come in?
So let's talk about Dave Thomas. So the Dave Thomas that maybe some of you are like, I've heard the name before. Dave Thomas, not only a Mason, the founder of Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
No relation. I'm going to assume.
relation.
No relation.
I don't
So
get any of that money.
that Dave Thomas. So if you're watching and your name is Dave Thomas, you're almost a shoe-in to be a Mason at Albert Pike in Wichita. So I'm not concerned with where you live. Let's come on to Wichita, establish residency, and let's
We'll
get you
figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I would love to have 10 officers in a row, all Dave Thomas, and let's just wild this out. Now the first thing I'd have to do would have to convince this Dave Thomas to come in and be a leader at Albert Pike.
Yeah.
But we've got some other aspirations for him.
Yeah,
and
but
leadership.
we're getting there, and
We are.
He'll get there. So, Dave, if you had a magic wand today and you could just wave it over Masonry, especially in Kansas and your lodge, what would you just do? What's the special fairy dust that you would put on it?
I think, the first thing would be to tell somebody before they're on a podcast they can wear a more professional shirt.
That's fair.
Or unfair.
Because it was in my house, I got to change. You did not.
So that would be the first thing. But
So what's the second thing that's more relevant?
fair enough. So I really think it starts and ends with youth. I really like the meetings and the events that we get to do with family, where we get to bring our families in, where we're exposed to other families that may not have any Masonic tie-ins, and really show who we are to the public. We talk about the problem with membership dwindling, and part of that was mentioned earlier that we are secretive, not secretive, but we have secret meetings. We're not a secret society, right? But in the past, we really haven't had our name out there, and the wonderful things that we do, charity and all kinds of other things, and just what it means to be a Mason. So when I was first coming in, I was super excited because I really like history. I like the esoteric side of things, and once I got in and got involved, it was nothing like what I expected. The conspiracy theories on YouTube are mostly not true. The most bland ones are probably the more accurate ones. But what I did get out of Masonry was the people that I met, and all the different works of life and everything that blends together with the men that are there, people that I would not have interactions with outside of the fraternity. That is the true value for me, and I absolutely love it.
Is it true that the three of us would have never met if it wasn't for the fraternity?
Might not have crossed paths.
Yeah, I don't know where. Yeah.
So a lot of the times we talk about Masonry as the original bro codes. We're kind of talking to a different generation. I still kind of advertise it in that manner of, we've all got friends, buddies, pals, whatnot, but I think the obligations and the path we take as Masons, we really are the original bro code. We have obligations, promises, your pinky swears, whatever you want to call it. But I think we take it to heart, and as the original bro code, I think that's what defines us from just other men in society.
Sure. Yeah, and we don't have to be all of one mindset
Right.
or all alike in order to have that real fellowship that we do. In fact, one of the Masonic educations that I've given was about the original founding fathers, and 3/8 of them were Masons, but how little.
Hold on, 3/8. Why didn't you just say close to a third? Why did you do some weird sorcery on the math like that? Why didn't you just say close to 1/3?
It's also close to 1/2. It's not 1/2 or 1/3. It's 3/8. So
we've got to cheer to this
to
because he just put you in your place, Byrd.
Cheers. Math is not my thing, and I'm not the banker.
But despite their fellowship and their brotherhood, politically and on their stance, they were all very different. But they had one passion for the new government, and they made that work. And I personally believe, and that can be a whole nother episode. I'm not running your show.
Sure.
But
well, you're trying to take over.
I personally believe that our country would not exist today, at least not in the form that it is, if it wasn't for Masonry and its influence on the founding fathers.
Yeah, very impressive.
Wow, man, we just got serious all of a sudden. I like
we
it.
really did. So let's bring it back to today, not the founding fathers, but within your lodge. You've been a member now. So what past master may have influenced you or inspired you, and why?
I really hate to give compliments to Brian at all, but sometimes he was a great leader, and brought a lot of energy to the lodge. And having not been involved with the lodge before, I didn't know any different. But
you never forget your first, boys and girls.
Maybe that's it.
Never.
But yeah, no, he was a great mentor, and some of the little one-liners I still carry with me today. They told me when I was going through. So Brian definitely was great. And then right after that, the next year was Mike Ward, and almost opposites in leadership style. But Mike had more of a quieter, stronger leadership, and that was well appreciated as well, especially in my second year. Once I had gotten my feet in the door, and he really did a lot of mentoring there as well. And I can't leave out Chris Collins, who one of the youngest Master Masons, and who really did a lot in his years. So
He did.
Fantastic.
So you brought up Mike earlier. So it's common knowledge that Russ, Mike, and myself are known as the three most handsome past masters in Albert Pike history. So if you had to, past masters, not master masons, so if you had to pick the most handsome fourth, who would it be? The hesitation is really bothering us.
Yeah. I'm going to pass on that, and everybody's equal.
I think it's going to be Dave Thomas in 2030.
2030, 7 years
I just
away?
pulled that out. Yeah. Look at it.
Are you putting your hat in the ring?
I have not. I have been asked on 3 different occasions to join the line, and although I want to and it's intriguing, just time restraints for me is all that's kept me out.
I like it. Now, so the most serious question of the evening. So every podcast, one has to go. There's one thing, if it has to go away forever, what would it be? And so up on the screen, you're going to see. So Dave, we're talking about tacos, whether it be street tacos, home tacos, whatever the tacos it may be, hamburgers, pizza, or chicken wings. One has to go forever. What is it and why?
Pumpkin pie.
That's fair.
Not fair. Old podcast. So he thought he was going to be prepped for this. So tacos, burgers, pizza, or chicken wings. One has to go forever, and why? It's a tough one.
That's serious.
It's a tough one. So
yeah.
It's tough for me, but I'm waiting for your answer so I can decipher what mine would be.
They're all staples of my diet. I
Right,
can't
but
believe
one's
it.
got to go forever. Russ, do you have one?
Yeah, I do, because hamburgers, tacos, pizza are all three staples that support the beef industry, and Kansas is one of the leading beef states in the United States. So I'd kick out chicken wings.
Wow. And the rationale was solid.
Yeah.
So if you so let me, as you're thinking this through, let me throw you off a little bit. Burgers, love them. Pizza, you can hot or cold, you can throw them in a bag, you're ready to go. Chicken wings, I've kind of found a new liking to those. I'm gonna have to let tacos go.
Oh, wow.
So they don't have to all be beef tacos.
Yeah, but
I know that you're trying to make them the beef industry.
so-
Don't make this about us.
Yeah,
Dave still has to answer.
We had a past grandmaster and a past potentate.
We did.
That had
Imperial
a glass,
potentate.
Imperial potentate that had a glass that had a steer and chickens on it, and it was beef or chicken, your choice.
Right, but so the tacos could be with it. So you got to make the choice.
So, being involved in politics in Kansas, I can tell you there's a lot of chicken farmers also.
But not as many as
Hey, easy, don't influence him. Sorry, that's the
we'll
election.
debate.
Dang.
You look
All
right there
right.
and tell him what's got to go. Tacos, burgers, pizza, or chicken wings. Just be decisive. Just let it
Okay,
go.
fair
Just
enough.
cut it loose.
Go.
I'm gonna go with pizza, just because pizza is the one thing
Pizza
that I have
What?
not made on my grill.
Ooh, I like it's flawed logic, but I like it nonetheless. So
Crazy.
after that is all we have today. We can't get into any deeper than that. So if you'd like to discuss some more comments, let us know in the messenger or just in the comments section. If you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, like us, share us, let us know. Thank you for the good Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast, and eat more pizza despite what